raise your hand if you've ever wanted to jump on the, make Instagram again bandwagon. It seems like no matter where I turn, I can throw a rock and hit somebody who doesn't like the algorithm. I'm really not worried about it. And I'll tell you why I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it because I discovered a hack. Is this clickbait, Courtney? Tell me. Trust me, I'm gonna tell you. In fact, we're gonna get into it right now. Hey, CourtneyLSanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time life and business coach as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things, but I do it because I'm so passionate about helping you turn your success story into a 6 or 7 figure brand. And when we talk about stories, particularly sharing our stories on social media, so many people nowadays are so frustrated because they feel like no matter how much they are posting content and sharing their story and doing all the things, it's hitting the ceiling, meaning it's not getting anywhere because of these doggone algorithms, right? So raise your hand if you've ever wanted to jump on the, make Instagram again bandwagon, or if you're super frustrated, maybe you're frustrated by the YouTube algorithm, I don't know, or I'm not on TikTok yet. Maybe by the time this video is finished, I'll finally have some content on there. I do have my platform, CourtneyLSanders, so I do have an account on TikTok, but I'm not posting, but I don't know how the algorithm on TikTok works. Maybe it's great for you, maybe you're frustrated, but it seems like no matter where I turn, I can throw a rock and hit somebody who doesn't like the algorithm. And even though I can relate, I've definitely seen my reach go down on Instagram as Instagram tries to figure things out, I'm really not worried about it. And I'll tell you why I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it because I discovered a hack that really makes it so that the algorithm doesn't matter, or that you can be above the algorithm. So if you're curious to know what that hack is, is this clickbait, Courtney? Tell me. Trust me, I'm gonna tell you. In fact, we're gonna get into it right now. All right, I got the idea to do this video after attending a conference that I just got finished with this past weekend. So I'm at the conference, I'm having a great time, I'm minding my own business. I just decided to show up and to support some of my friends who were in attendance. So I was pretty much the only person there by myself. Like I wasn't bringing any friends with me. And this young woman comes up to me and she goes, "Hi, are you CourtneyLSanders?" And I'm like, yeah, which is like, ooh, did I just get recognized? Am I a celebrity? And she's like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited to actually be talking to you in person. She's like, I just got off the phone with Martinia. Martinia is one of my enrollment coordinators. And she's like, I talked to Martinia, she's so fantastic. Like, I can't wait to join your program. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like you really are in my brand. You signed up for a call with one of my enrollment coordinators. You're looking to join my program. And she's like, yeah, I have just been binging all of your content. I love everything you post on YouTube and Instagram. And she's like, you're never gonna believe this. My husband actually stumbled across your profile and he was like, babe, you need to follow her. You need to take her advice. You need to do whatever it is that, she's talking about. And so she was like, I never heard of you. I checked out your profile. I loved everything that you were doing. And yep, I signed up for a call with your team and I'm just like geeked. And I was like, this is crazy. And so, we chatted some more and it was really, really great to meet her. But I was just like, wow, she didn't find me because I used the right hashtags in my profile. She didn't find me because my reel had the right trending audio that picked up something. She followed me because someone in her life said, hey, you should follow this account. And if you can believe this, this happens to me all the time. So if you haven't guessed by now, the hack that will help you be above the algorithm if you learn to master it is word of mouth. Yes, word of mouth is a thing if you actually can believe it. It's still a thing. I know when it comes to being online and using social media, oftentimes we think that the only way that we can grow or the only way that we can get our stuff seen and our content seen if we get picked up by the algorithm and it shows us to, a bajillion people. But don't you remember before social media was a thing, before the internet was even a thing, heck, before phone was the thing, word of mouth was actually a thing. In fact, one of my mentors, he talks about King Solomon all the time, and he talks about how King Solomon was the master of word of mouth before there was even electricity, right? The Queen of Sheba went down to King Solomon's kingdom to see if everything that she had heard about him was true. So even back then, in like ancient biblical days, word traveled fast. And so how much more can word travel with these tools and technology? And so if you're feeling very stressed stressed out lately about the algorithm and like you're not getting the reach that you want to get, don't feel like you have to create content for the algorithm. Remember that you need to create content for people, because if you create content for people, people will share what it is you're doing and the right people will see your information. Now, I wanted to talk about word of mouth, especially because now more than ever, it's going to be important in your business. So if you haven't checked out this video here, I talk all about how the coaching industry is changing. And really, the coaching industry is maturing, and that a lot of the marketing strategies that were very commonplace in, the 2010s, now that we're in the 2020s, right? 2022 going into 2023, they're just simply not as effective as they used to be anymore, because everybody is hip to the game, everybody is out there online, and everybody is doing it. And so the thing that's really going to set you apart is if people actually refer you to their friends and they manually text your profile to their friends. If you can believe it, that is still a thing. But how do you actually generate word of mouth? How do you create it where people are actually telling the people in their life about you? And again, I can do this video and I can talk about this because word of mouth is a significant part of my business. In fact, word of mouth is often how I get clients. I have lots of clients. You can check out testimonials on my website where they have shared, where they were like, look, I was looking for a business coach to grow my business and my friend, told me about you, or my coworker told me about you. In fact, my podcast, I would say, grows the way it does strictly through word of mouth. I don't know what is going on, but people listen to my podcast, they listen to it at work, and they tell their coworkers about it, they tell their friends. So really, ever since I've been online, there's always been this contingent in my brand where people were finding out about me because somebody in their actual life told them about me. And so this has helped with growing my actual content and getting people to follow me on whatever, social media, on YouTube, but this has also especially helped me when it comes to actually landing clients. So with the way that the industry is moving, I am finding that making sure that you can attract word of mouth is even more important than it used to be. So if you're frustrated about the algorithm, don't worry about it. I'm not saying don't optimize your profile or, pay attention to Instagram's mood swings or whatever is going on. But at the end of the day, don't forget that you got to create content for people, and you got to create content so that people will share you. So what do you need to do in order to create that word of mouth momentum? All right, I have even more where that came from, including how to create word of mouth in your business. But before I get into that, I want to hear from you. Are you frustrated by the algorithm? Has the algorithm lowered your reach? Share in the comments below. All right, so how do you create more word of mouth in your business, and particularly word of mouth with your content and your social media profiles? Well, the number one way to create more word of mouth and whatever it is that you're doing is to create something worth talking about. I know it sounds so simple, but we just overlook it. We're, again, so focused on trying to, talk to a computer and trick a computer into blasting our content out to the far corners of the universe, not realizing if we simply create things that are new and notable and interesting to people, we don't even have to talk to the robots. People will automatically share our content themselves. So how do you create content that is actually worth talking about? Well, one thing that I'm a big stickler for, and if you've been on this channel for any amount of time, you know that I talk about this, is you want to create content in your unique style. This is what I mean when it comes to actually building your brand. Most people think a brand is just strictly about the colors that you use or what your logo looks like, but building a brand is so much more than that. It's about the vision that you have for your company, the mission that you stand behind, what you're known for, your personality, how you like to communicate. All of these different things encompass your brand, and really it encompasses your unique style. So if you are creating a lot of content, you're creating content and feeling frustrated that the algorithm is not showing your stuff, be honest with yourself and ask, is this content packaged in a style that is either new and or notable? Because we look at content visually, we're on these platforms, we're seeing them. And so is there something about this content that is in a unique style that would make me want to share it with other people? Does it look a certain way? Does it sound a certain way? When I read the words in this content, does it capture my attention? Does it move me emotionally? What about the style of this content is actually capturing my attention and being share worthy? Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is hard work, especially in the beginning. Creativity is hard work. You have to create the space in order to be creative. And so I talk about this a lot in my previous videos about how important it is to make sure that your environment is very inspiring and that you are giving yourself what you need need in your business and in your personal life so that you can show up as your best self. But part of the reason why that is so important so that you can come up with new and unique creative ideas for how you package and how you disseminate your content. So if you're creating content that looks like everybody else's, that sounds like everybody else's, not only is the algorithm not gonna push it, but people themselves are not gonna push it. So you wanna make sure that you are being unique. And one of the easiest ways to be unique in your style is simply to be yourself, right? Even when I sat down here, we're in my office as we're recording this, I was like, ooh, I feel like I'm in an episode of Mad Men, which is exactly what I wanted because that is so my style, right? I love this kind of Art Deco, vintage vibe. I love a lot of glam, you know, in my home decor. So you'll notice that a lot of my videos reflect that because these are my actual backdrops, right? I'm not at an Airbnb or at a peer space. Like, this is my actual home. I actually decorate it like this. I like dressing in a certain way. I like the kind of music that I put on the background of my videos or on my social media posts. Like, all of this reflects my style, right? And I recognize that not everybody will be into this style, but the people who are into this style, they're really into this style and they love sharing this content with their friends who are also into it. So you just gotta be clear about who you actually are and make sure that your content looks and sounds like you, because if you focus on making it look and sound like you, that is one of the easiest ways to make it stand out and to make it be different and to make it noteworthy enough to share. All right, so the second thing that you need to master if you wanna make your content actually noteworthy is you need to create it with unique substance. So we talked about unique style. Now you gotta focus on unique substance. What are you saying? So are you saying something new or are you saying it in a new way? And here's the crazy thing. Technically, there is nothing new under the sun, right? I'm sure there are plenty of videos with other people saying the same thing that I'm saying to you right now. But the way you say it, and this kind of goes with your style, we all look for people that we can relate to, that we resonate with, who trigger things in us where we're like, wow, I've heard this 1,000 times, but when I hear it from you, suddenly I get it. You want to be that person for your audience. So you have to think about what is the unique substance that you bring to your content. And one of the easiest ways to bring unique substance to your content so that it is word of mouth worthy is to bring your real life experiences. So if you've been on this channel for any amount of time, you know I share real life stories about things that happen to my family or me when I'm out and about. I use random examples from things from school or just stuff that I'm into. I'm always referencing like random books that I'm reading and I'm bringing that into my content. Again, all of that is my unique substance because that's how I actually am and that's who I actually am. So again, if you're finding that the algorithm is not pushing your stuff and that people are not talking about your content, sit with yourself and say, what am I actually into? How can I beef up my content, beef up the substance more so that it's more unique to me and that it's noteworthy enough to my people so that they say, wow, I know I've heard this before, but the way you said that just really resonated with me in such a way that now I feel like I can take it and I can do something with it. When people resonate with your content and they feel like they can take it away, they do take it away and they tell other people about it. So mastering your substance is something that's really, really important. In fact, I talk about this a lot inside of my coaching program, the Next Big Name Bootcamp. I have a whole module all about speaking and how to be articulate on camera and in your videos and how to create content that is really powerful and that really connects with people. And so if that's something that you're interested in joining and you want all of my methods and practices for how to build a successful, wildly successful coaching business, click the link below to learn more about it and apply for our next cohort. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And if you want even more where this came from, make sure you subscribe to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show. And if you can't wait for my next podcast episode or my next video, make sure you're following me on Instagram. It's CourtneyLSanders on Instagram. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.